The year 2026 isn't going to be a crash. If you're waiting for the sky to fall, you've already lost. Everyone is terrified of a violent collapse, like 2008. But the data predicts something much scarier. We are entering a phase called the Great Stagnation. Think of it like this: a crash is a storm. It's loud and fast. But 2026 will be a drought. A drought kills you slowly while you wait for rain that never comes. The numbers on your screen will look fine, but your buying power is quietly evaporating. Today, I'm going to show you the math Wall Street isn't telling you. We're going to expose the 4 safe haven traps that will wipe out the middle class next year. If you want to survive the drought, you need to stop playing by the old rules. Let's start with the biggest mistake smart people are making: hoarding cash. For the last 2 years, cash was king. You parked money in a savings account, made 5% risk-free, and felt like a genius. But in 2026, the party is over. The Fed is cutting rates. That means your free money paycheck is about to get slashed in half. Here is the math your bank teller won't explain. Imagine you have 100,000 saving you 5,000 a year. Next year, as rates drop to 3%, that income falls to 3,000. But here's the kicker. Inflation is likely to stay around 3%. 3% yield minus 3% inflation equals 0. You are taking 0 risk, but you represent 0 progress. While you sit in cash, making nothing, big investors are moving into bonds and growth assets. By the time you realize your mistake, you've missed the recovery. In 2026, cash isn't a fortress. It's a prison cell, and the walls are closing in. This leads to the deadliest trap: the housing market. Millions of millennials are sitting on the sidelines, waiting for a crash. They say, "I'll buy when rates hit 4%. Here is the harsh reality: prices aren't crashing. They are flatlining. And boring is dangerous for your wallet. Let's look at the math of renting vs buying. In 2026, if you buy a $500,000 home at 6% interest, you pay the bank $30,000 in just the first year. If the home value only grows by 1%, which is predicted, you gain $5,000 in equity. You paid $30K to make $5K. You are mathematically underwater. Compare that to renting. You pay the same $30,000, but you avoid taxes, repairs, and insurance. In 2026, the renter actually ends up $15,000 richer than the homeowner. And stop believing the refinance fantasy. The sub-3% rates of 2020 were a miracle, not normal. If you buy a house expecting to refinance next year, you might be trapped in a payment you can't afford for a decade. Rule for 2026: buy a house to live in. Do not buy a house to get rich. Now, let's talk about your retirement account. Most people use the slow cooker method: dump money in a 401k and forget about it. In 2026, that strategy is a tax torpedo. Why? Because the 2017 tax cuts are expiring. Unless Congress acts, tax rates go up. If you are dumping money into a traditional 401k, you are skipping taxes now, while they are loath to pay them later when they are high. That is backwards. If tax rates rise by just 5% on $1 million portfolio, you lose $50,000 instantly. That's 2 years of retirement living expenses gone. You need to look at Roth conversions. It hurts to pay taxes today, I know, but think of it as buying tax insurance before the hurricane hits. Don't wake up in 10 years and realize the IRS owns half your nest egg. Finally, the most seductive trap of all, the tech bubble. Everyone loves Nvidia and Apple. They've carried the market. But in 2026, we face the law of large numbers. These companies are now so big that for them to double again, they would need to eat the entire global economy. If you own an S&P 500 index fund, you think you're diversified. You are not. 30% of your money is in just a handful of companies. If the AI hype slows down, your safe index fund crashes. Remember the dot-com bust? People waited 15 years just to break even. Can you afford to wait 15 years? In 2026, don't follow the herd. The herd is about to walk off a cliff. Look where no one else is looking: small companies, international markets, and value stocks. So, how do we survive the drought? We need a new algorithm. Don't hoard cash, keep 6 months for emergencies. Then get your money moving into short-term bonds or treasuries. Fix your taxes, stop deferring taxes blindly. Look at growth accounts now. Real diversification: check your portfolio. If it's all US tech stocks, you are gambling, not investing. Add some international exposure. Cash flow is king since asset prices aren't going up. Buy things that pay you. Dividend stocks and REITs are your best friends in a flat market. The silent crisis of 2026 will destroy the lazy and the fearful, but it will reward the educated. Don't let stagnation rob your future. Run the math yourself.